Hi Year 3s and welcome to your second pre-teach maths video. The purpose of these videos is to help you with what's coming up in the following week. So when you come into our lessons, you're feeling super confident and ready to have a really good go. So for next week, we're particularly looking at reasoning, which is quite a tricky thing. So that's where we're having to think really deeply and really carefully about the question that we're tackling or the problem we're looking at or an area of maths where we're having to think really hard. Now, when we think about reasoning, as teachers, we often picture children coming to us and saying, I just know the answer. And what we want you to do is to think a little bit harder about why it is that answer. So think about what you did to get to that answer, and if you don't agree, why don't you agree? And the great thing is, actually, why, as long as you have a go, it doesn't actually matter if you get it wrong or right, because reasoning is about just thinking differently. Making a mistake means we learn, okay? So it's all a good thing. So, reasoning. I'm going to show you 3 questions. I'm not going to show you the answers because we're going to go over them next week. So, they are going to get progressively harder with a super spicy challenge at the end. But it'd be great for you to have a go at all 3. So the first one, little recap on greater than, less than and equal to. So make sure you're using this picture to help you. I'm going to read it out. Mr. O'Donnell thinks the following number sentence is correct. 500 £1 coins is, look up there, which one does it match? £50. Do you agree? Explain your reasoning. What do you think? Do you agree with Mr. O'Donnell? Just because he's the head teacher doesn't mean you have to agree with him, because his math sometimes can be a little bit fruity. So you have a look, and do you agree with the symbols there? Do you think actually it's not less than, it might be greater than, it might be equal to? You decide, but you need to explain why. And this bit here, the 500 £1 coins, that bit is a bit tricky. So you need to think about what that actually is if you were to have a 500 £1 coins. Okay. Next one, we've got a picture here showing a number. Now we've been using this resource a lot recently. What number is being represented? How do you know? Add it up very carefully. Okay, think about how many 1s make 10, how many 10s make 100. That's my little clue to you for this one. How do you know? And a little extra question, what is tricky about this picture and adding it up? So have a go, and let's move on to the last one. Remember, we'll be going over it next week. So the last one has me in it. Mr. Paddon thinks of a number. He adds 10 to it. He subtracts 100 from it. He then subtracts another 10 tens. His answer is 340. What number did he start with? Now, we've only just really moved on to these questions. This is hard, okay? This is just a hard type of question. Does not mean you can't have a go. Think carefully about what we do. When we have the answer actually asking us what we start with, we have to work backwards. And we've got to use something, hopefully you'll remember this word, we have to use the inverse. So we start backwards, or start from the end, and we'll go, rather than subtract, we're going to need to do what? What's the opposite operation of subtract? And again, subtract, we need to do the opposite operation, and then here we've got add. What's the opposite operation of add? So working backwards from 340, we're going to go do this part, then this part, and then this part. What number did he start with, and how do you know? So, good luck with those. We're going to go over them next week. Have a good go at all 3 if you can, but if you find any of them tricky, it is okay. It is tricky. Year 3 maths does get a little bit trickier, so do not worry. Have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.